We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one.
Welcome to Between the Joysticks. Press start and then we're off. Nick and John, they've got the sauce. Breaking news and some hot takes. Even if there's some mistakes, Nick is captaining the ship, while John gives thoughts straight from the hip. But when their powers combine, we're all in for a hell of a time. Between the Joysticks is the best. Up to 6 things they will address. Tell all your friends and settle in. Between the Joysticks now begins.
Hello there, and welcome to episode 157 of the podcast Between the Joysticks.
What are you doing?
I am your host, Nick, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, John. On this episode, we're going to talk about Ball X Pit. Ball Cross Pit. The Steam Machine got revealed. Is Arc Raiders Game of the Year contender?
I don't know what he's doing,
and
everybody.
your emails, but who really cares? You know, life is just pain
I know what
and
he's doing.
suffering.
I know what he's doing.
What am I doing?
You're Grand Theft Autoing.
You're correct. I'm in mourning, John.
Yep.
I'm in mourning. I don't know if you know this
Why even continue?
or even experienced this. I don't think you've ever had a game that you were hyped for and it just got pushed and pushed. I don't even think you know what that feels like. And you should be very empathetic to how I'm feeling right now. You should be considerate of my feelings, because if you're just joining us and just hearing the news, Grand Theft Auto 6, with its original release date of May 26th, 2026, now got pushed to November 19th of 2026. So, I mean, that's over a year from this date now.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, Nick. I'm
pretty sure?
I'm pretty sure the police were going through the streets with their bullhorns going, Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed, because everybody cares about this game.
Change your time off requests.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah.
So,
Sorry, buddy.
I know. And you know, I wanted to start with this because it's a big deal. This is my number one most anticipated game, John. And it just sucks. It just sucks. I'm going to have to wait even longer now.
Yeah.
I got to make sure to survive more than another year, you know.
How are you going to fill that time with Wolverine? I mean, or Saros, who cares? Like, why even bother with this?
I know,
you know?
exactly.
Why?
I know. It sucks, dude. I just And I'm glad you said that, because that's kind of the internet take that I hate so much when these things happen, because they just suck in general. But people will always go, more time for my backlog, and there's so many games coming out, or this or that, or I want to play the good game, you know, the game that's polished. And those are sure all those things, but it just sucks. You know?
I think both can be true. Personally, I think both can be true.
You're supposed to be empathetic to my feelings.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Okay.
Not empathetic to you.
All right.
I mean, yes, I think Grand Theft Auto 6, nobody wants it more than a guy across the table from me, but like, just open your mind, buddy. You'll be all right. Like, wouldn't you rather have the best product possible?
Yes, of course.
I know. It's the same
it'll be
old
fine when it comes out. It'll be fine. And there's tons of games next year. We've beaten that, you know, horse so much this year about how many games are coming out next year, but still, it's just.
I feel like maybe. Do you think this is a fair statement? Like, being that it would still have been 7 months away makes the delay feel better than, let's say, like the Mina the Hollower delay, right? Like,
right,
that,
like before it came out,
right? Like, we're still 7 months away. We still haven't seen a second trailer. We still, didn't know even. We've never seen a single really second of actual gameplay. I know most of the trailers were in-game stuff,
right?
So like, that's got to make it at least a little easier, I would think, but. I don't know. I also don't have as bright-eyed optimism, as much bright-eyed optimism as you do about life still. So
yeah,
I'm just looking forward to the next thing that just is there, I guess.
That's true. But yeah, let's. I know it's the start of the show, but I want to get into it. But this is like the impact, the bigger impact of this thing is interesting, right? Mm-hmm. You had a bunch of games that were probably like, I'm not getting anywhere close to May next year. Well, now they are. And now you have a bunch of games that are coming out in November that are probably planned to come out in November. We do not know any November release, but think about November. That's Call of Duty's time frame. X month's celebrating 25 years next year.
Hold on, you said X month.
Oh, Xbox
Okay.
is celebrating 25 years next November as well, and I'm assuming they wanted one of their big games to probably coincide with that.
It'd make
Halo Combat or Campaign Remastered, Forza 6, Fable, Gears of War E-Day. I'm sure one of them was probably going to be around this.
It would almost
anniversary day.
makes so much sense that I bet they weren't, because that leadership team's so stupid.
Wow, shots fired.
Yeah. No. Sorry, not sorry.
But to be honest, like, yeah, if I was them, I would have had Halo, that campaign, remastered on the 25th anniversary of Xbox.
Yeah, makes sense.
Easy.
Yeah.
Because it came out that same day. It's also its 25th anniversary. Just makes sense on paper. I don't know what their plans are for when their other games are going to release, but
Grand Theft Auto decided that it wasn't enough to screw up one quarter like they would have this last September. Like, we're going to screw up a whole year for everybody.
Right.
I bet developers secretly hate Rockstar right now. Just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it depends
Have
what side you're on, right? Either they moved away and you're happy that your game, if you're releasing anywhere in that vicinity, you're probably happy, like Sucker Punch was when it originally got pushed to May.
Mm-hmm.
They were excited that Ghost of Yotei had this window to come out in and not have to compete. So yeah, it's probably both sides.
For sure.
Like, yeah, if you're aiming for November, I don't know, maybe Insomniac was like, Wolverine's going to come out in November, yay.
I mean, they've since said that, like, they're still planning on the fall. I
Right.
would bet. I think we said on the show, it's like early. That's probably more of a September-y type
Yeah,
thing. But,
yeah,
so I don't think it would really get that impacted by it. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, do you do we have any inclination as to why the delay was caused?
I think just a level of polish, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they zero in on dates on video games. It's it's amazing that video games come out at all with how complicated they are, and especially this one of all of them.
Now, I want to throw something your way, and this is what I alluded to earlier when I said I'll wait for the show and you can call me an idiot live. You mentioned, the story that's been circulating around all this is that there was this layoff thing that happened over at Rockstar about some employees that were trying to unionize, and they got fired unceremoniously, however you want to phrase that.
Right.
And some people were like, well, that's why it got delayed, in which I agree. No, it's not because this small group of people got delayed that it's going to cause another year. However, I've since read that, like, it's not so much because these people wouldn't, but a show of solidarity amongst not obviously the rest of the staff at Rockstar, but a chunk of them to be like, oh, my friends got fired? Fuck this. And then maybe there's some, like, actual internal turmoil happening that's caused them to, like, be like, okay, well, we don't feel confident in May anymore.
So
like, do you think that's possible?
You probably are barking up a tree here that's probably semi-correct, right? Like, and again, this is all just theory. We have no proof here.
If you
but
listen
when
to
you're
our show
talking
for
about
actual facts, go.
but if you're talking about why do unions form, right?
Yep.
Like bad work conditions, right? And I'm sure that the crunch on this game, video game crunch, it's a term we don't hear about much now because, people just don't want to work like that anymore. They don't want to work 12-hour days for 6 months straight or stuff like that. But it's possible with that original release date that the reason that there were rumblings of a union is because they were looking like it's going to take the amount of man hours and crunch from now till then. Like, we don't want to fucking do that. So maybe.
Well, and Rockstar has a history of being one of the worst.
Right.
Like Red Dead 2, I think famously had a really bad crunch period.
Right. So if you're saying like, oh wow, one of the reasons they want to unionize is because this date is really soon for them, and they don't think they can hit it without a bunch of overtime and working and not seeing their families. That maybe to placate them and alleviate that kind of led to the delay of the game. So they felt like breathing room. That's possible. That's possible, right?
Yeah.
That could really be a real reason why it got delayed.
Because it's interesting, and not trying to start shit between us right now, Nick. I just like a question I want to.
Oh boy.
I know I want you to think about. I guess is like, is Grand Theft Auto 6 good for the games industry? Like, is what they're doing, because no other company can replicate this. We know that, and to release something under such conditions and is this the direction that is going to be like, I know it's going to be one of the greatest games of all time. I think that's safe to say.
Right.
But the aftermath and after effects of what it could potentially do, where it just expectations and what it requires of people, it's just like, I wonder if this is a good thing.
It's hard to say.
I know that's a question I know you're not going to answer for.
Because you have that, you have the side where, it's taking the oxygen out of the room. Who is playing any other game when that game comes out, right?
Me.
Yeah, except for John. But also, like, when you think of, like, console install bases, right? Like, this thing is not, Grand Theft Auto 6 is not coming to PC. Do you know how many PlayStations are going to sell in November when this thing is out? And it's like, all these people are realizing what a big deal that it, it's out, and just it can only be played on the Xbox One or Xbox Series X and S or PlayStation. They're gonna sell a lot of hardware, and you would think that those people that are buying Grand Theft Auto 6 on PlayStation would turn around and buy Wolverine, buy other games, go back and buy Saros.
Here's my entry point.
Yeah, exactly. Like now. Because I know a lot of people say this, right? Like, why go to these upgraded consoles, especially when, like, God of War Ragnarok was on both, Horizon Forbidden West was on both, PS4 and PS5, that hasn't been a lot of reasons to upgrade. I think you're crazy because the solid-state drive and the controller are awesome. Those are the benefits alone.
When's the last time you turned on a PlayStation 4? That thing is the slowest machine you will ever deal with in your life.
How did we deal with this thing?
Oh, my God.
I think the impact of there's a lot of numbers going out about how many units PlayStation 5 has sold this week, because end of quarter stuff or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it just passed 90 million, or no, 84. They said by the end of the year they think they'll be at 90.
Yeah, they're at 84 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that number is gonna skyrocket. Like,
this thing's outselling the PS4, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is. That is wild. Especially with like a console that has continually gone up in price too.
Right.
But no, hard to say.
It's just an interesting question that I think, there's no answer to it. At least right now, it's only an answer you can answer in hindsight or find in hindsight. But I don't know. It's interesting because, we know video game players are very particular, and it's like, oh well, this, is every open world game after Grand Theft Auto going to be like, well, this doesn't look like Grand Theft Auto, and like stuff like that.
Always
like
happen,
all of that,
yeah.
and it's just like it's just an interesting question when you put it all together, and like, what could Rockstar have made with all of the money they're dumping towards this, and elsewise. So it's just interesting. That's all. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. No. From an outside observer, not even like your position, John. You're no interest in the game, but I mean, it's going to be wild. It's going to be. You're going to turn on mainstream news, and it's going to be all they talk about. So
it'll be the single biggest media launch ever.
Right.
For like a single product and how much money it makes in a week-long span or something.
Right. I mean, I even saw with this delay, they were talking about, oh, this is good for Mandalorian and Grogu, which was releasing the same week as this. Right. And it's like, people aren't going to go to the movies the week that this comes out. They're going to be busy playing this. So, it's pretty wild. But, I wanted to start with that. So
it's all right. You can play Grand Theft Auto while you're eating your Thanksgiving turkey next year.
I'm not going to Thanksgiving now. Are you kidding me? I'm busy.
So many broken families this game's going to create. Not good for society, people.
Yeah, exactly. All right, and then before we get into the show proper, today is a special day.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
5 years ago, on November 12th, 2020, the PlayStation 5 came out.
Oh yeah.
So today PlayStation 5 turns 5. And I just want to, do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, just top level, my brain thoughts. I think that, as I've felt with every single PlayStation, because I am one of those like PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5 guys. the consoles continue to get better in terms of just quality of life improvements and the way that it all functions and things like that. I remember when the PS5 came out, I thought I was going to hate the way you had to turn it off because it was different from the PS4. But it's like I got used to all that. But I think the machine's fantastic. I've had a lot of fun with it. But I think there is still like an argument to be made about this being potentially one of the worst generations, like from a game standpoint, just on like new releases and things we've experienced from like the first parties and stuff like that. When you really look at the last 5 years, what have we gotten new from PlayStation? We got Spider-Man 2, we got Returnal, we got Horizon, new Horizon game, but just the output that we typically get, it's lacking. But I also think we live in an era that there's just more games than ever, and it's not all going to come from Sony.
No.
If you're open-minded and willing to check out different experiences like Cocoon or Hades or some third-party games like Elden Ring and stuff, there's ridiculous amounts to play. But I think this generation will forever be remembered just as the one that they really separated themselves from Microsoft. I think that'll be the biggest thing that it's not going to be the games that like PS4's generation is defined by Sony figuring out their lane, right? We're doing the high budget narrative things. And so this generation is not really defined by much from like I think what the PlayStation is doing as much as it is by how much the momentum continued forward and seems to it's never going to stop now. So it'll be interesting how it goes forward. But PS5, man, I mean, if I were to score it out of 10, I'd give it a solid 9. I mean, it's great. I have no qualms with it.
Yeah.
The biggest issue I think that this thing has faced is just the way it looks for a lot of people. And that's it. And I don't
it's
really
not
care.
great.
Like I don't really care. It just sits under my entertainment console or whatever. So
yeah.
But yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, great. I don't mind the interface. I love the games I play on it, and I love the controller so much.
Controller's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, the PlayStation 5 is the only console I have, and probably will be for this generation. And
we'll see how you feel at the end of the episode. Teaser.
Yeah, not if Steam has anything to say about it, but or Valve. It's a great console, and yeah, it is. I mean, I don't think it's exclusively to the PlayStation 5, but having Xbox bow out at this point is definitely a part of its success and its appeal, and really why like it's kind of hard to like measure anything, right? When you think of like, oh, they had Rebirth on there, but Rebirth didn't sell very well. But I'm like, they probably did a lot for the brand and keeping Xbox people going to PlayStation instead of Xbox, and all the other games, Helldivers and Stellar Blade and all their first party output that really led to this fall.
I got a good word for I think the first 5 years of this generation, and I think it's just confidence. I think PlayStation has shown over the past 5 years that there's a reason to maintain your confidence in them. And Xbox has done the opposite, right? They have done the exact opposite. I think people were hoping that, the Series X would finally get the games going. The first part of their entire rollout was, how many games they had coming, and things are finally in order, and we finally have our quarterly releases, and it was too late. It was too late and $1 short. I mean, those games weren't the level that, if let's say Keeper, which recently released, or upcoming Fable was like that 94, that Astro Bot, like that would have probably given them not a long runway, but another couple months of people be like, oh shit, okay, are we good? But it's just release after release after release, while PlayStation still continues to, albeit at a slower pace, give us great experiences that we're happy to pay for or pay and play, I guess.
Right.
That's I think confidence is really the thing that's shifted in the past 5 years.
Yeah. They're killing it, and like I said, I think with Grand Theft Auto next year, it's going to be one of the best years for PlayStation ever.
It'll probably be the number one. Yeah, I bet you dollar amounts, whatever. Next year's probably
and especially with all the big Xbox heavy hitters, Fable, Gears of War, probably also going to be announced for PlayStation as well. It's going to have one of the best years ever.
Sorry, I have Grand Theft Auto news on my screen, and this headline kind of cracks me up and shows how, going back to obviously last topic, how big Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be. Far-right Polish politician tries to score points with young audience by addressing GTA 6's delay in Parliament. It's like they're bringing it up to try and gain votes.
Cool.
Yeah, cool guys.
But
yeah, well, happy birthday, PS5.
Yeah,
5 years strong. Yeah, I was gonna make a joke about how I love it more than my children, but I don't. As much as you might.
Depends
some
on
might
the
think.
day.
Yeah.
It goes back and forth. You know, when Saros is out, he probably likes the PlayStation more. His kids are bratty.
Yeah.
I wish I like my kid that doesn't talk back to me.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I just a prediction in my head that I wanted to throw out there for you for next year. And I know we do year predictions, but will the PlayStation 5 outsell the Switch 2 next year?
Oh, that's a good one. Dude. I
think with Grand Theft Auto 6, it might actually do it.
I mean, everything everywhere besides there was. I don't know if it was the latest numbers or not. Maybe 2 of them ago, but I think everywhere besides Japan in the world, PlayStation 5 outsold Switch, including the United States. Switch 2.
Right.
So, and Switch 2 will continue to have, like the next time they announce their 3D Marios and things like that. But yeah, with Grand Theft Auto 6 being there, with the momentum continuing, the way they're talking in the last couple of days about PlayStation 5 is halfway through its life cycle, like they're not slowing down. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And all right. Did you see the Mario Galaxy trailer? Did you watch it?
No.
All right. We won't have to talk about it then.
Okay. Who's the villain? Is it still Bowser?
It is Baby Bowser.
Baby Bowser. Okay.
Yep. Yep. They.
I mean, you could mention it real quick if you want to talk about, who's
No, I
cast
mean,
there.
it's we've talked about it. Galaxy is a great game, so when you see them using some of the mechanics of those games,
I do have a question for you. How was the music in the trailer?
Oh, it's incredible.
All right,
come
sweet.
on.
Okay, just make sure.
No, yeah, but they actually show them like flying around the planets, like
In that,
kind of like
the
orbiting
gravity
them.
type thing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and you're just like, oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
way
I
more
could-
excited for this movie than the first one, just based on that.
yeah.
But I guess I mean, at least share who the new casting announcement was.
I forget what's the actor who is Baby Bowser.
Oh, well, I meant the Rosalina one.
Oh,
but,
Rosalina is Brie Larson.
Yeah, and then Baby Bowser is Benny Safdie,
Yeah.
who was one of the Safdie brothers directors. They did Uncut Gems. Yeah, I don't. That's a weird one based on the star power
Right.
of a lot of the other ones. Benny Safdie's great, but interesting.
That must
So,
be-
he
I
must have screened really well or
Yeah,
something.
nailed the
Yeah.
nailed the voice for Baby Bowser.
Yeah, so
He's always been kind of like a whiny, bratty character, but
yeah, Brie Larson, sweet.
yeah, no, I mean it looks great. I mean it's
It's gonna make a
nostalgic.
bajillion dollars. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
I'll be there, probably twice.
but that movie's coming next year, April.
That actually could be. That has a high potential to be my daughter's first theater
Aw.
experience, probably because they see Mario and they go Mario,
Okay.
So I bet they'll want to go.
Okay. And now another thing entered my head. Sorry, we're just gonna keep this opening segment going forever. Is there any plans for you to get Switch 2 this Christmas?
No,
Okay.
no, no. I mean, there's still nothing that's like
I didn't think for you. I'm saying for your family.
Oh, well, no. We're talking about getting I potentially might get my son his own. If you're listening, Levi, turn it off right now. Okay. PlayStation 5. Courtesy of yours truly across the desk from me. Nick bought a Pro, so he's just had this old thing he's trying to get rid of. And I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to have Levi he can go play the show in his room and I can do what I want to do. Plus, he'd love the idea of that too. But no, with no games really there, with something that we're going to talk about in a little bit that we teased with Steam, that seems more enticing overall. So, not really yet.
Okay.
Not ruling
just
out.
curious.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned your kids and their love of Mario. I was like, oh, what do you get a Switch 2 for them?
Yeah, there's definitely a part of me that is I'm good with not inundating my daughters with video games like I did with Levi.
Right,
So,
right. Let them be a
find it
kid.
naturally, or whether they like it and gravitate towards it and want to play with their brother, or they hate it because their brother does it. However that works out.
Usually, they'll follow in yours and his footsteps and
Usually.
be little gamers too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Well then, unless you got something else.
No.
Actually, I have one more thing. The State of Play Japan.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just a blip. Between the last episode and this episode, Sony does what they do, PlayStation does what they do, announce the State of Play, and have it by the time we record our next episode.
I do admittedly like that they do that. It's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need 3 weeks to look forward to a State of Play.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fine. Get no predictions in. It's not to have fun with it. Fine. Be that way. But was there anything you wanted to talk about from that?
Yeah, I mean, first off, not a state of play that is, obviously there's a reason we're putting it at the front of the show and not making it entirely topic, but no, it definitely
The front of the show, 24 minutes in.
It was it was interesting that they did it like this. I mean, PlayStation 5 has been not selling well in Japan, so they feel like they need to up their, I guess, presence over there. But no, it's a bunch of games that I don't really have a lot to say about, with rare exception. There's that Nevergrave game that looks exactly like a Hollow Knight ripoff that, if the reviews are solid, I will absolutely be on top of. There was that Blaze Blue Metroidvania that looks kind of awesome. And, Night Rain is getting some DLC. So that's going to be big news for a lot of people. Obviously, Night Rain, not as big as its main game, but had a good showing earlier this year. So some of the bosses and stuff in that trailer looked great. Exactly what you would expect. But overall thoughts of the show, could have been an email.
Yeah. Especially with this close. I mean, we're officially less than a month away from the Game Awards. I think like you knew this was going to be a little muted as far as big announcements. And when you end on a Marvel Tokon Fighters beta without announcing new characters, and then Elden Ring Night Ring expansion, it's definitely wasn't a big deal.
I will say for maybe some people out there, I know Fatal Frame 2 is a beloved game for a niche audience.
Yeah, those look good.
And it's got an 84 on Metacritic. It's a 2004 game, so it's obviously dated. So much in the similar vein of Silent Hill 2 getting it's games of a similar era. So that might be one for people to look out for. And if you were a fan of that game, they are remaking it, so we'll definitely get some people excited. But I never played them, so
all right.
I've heard they're genuinely scary.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the show. Again, 25 minutes in. This is how the show normally works. John and I can both bring up to 3 things to talk about for a total of 6 things. It can be a video game we're playing. It can be unfortunate news like the Grand Theft Auto delay. It can be it can be a topic. It can be anything we want to bring, but it can also be an email from you, the listener. We got one of those later in the show. That email address is betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com. Our Twitter DM is @joystickspod, and our YouTube page is @betweenthejoysticks. Reach out to us on any of those platforms, and you'll be read on this show. Oh, it feels good to do 3 weeks. I feel like I'm on top of hosting a show again.
Well, I think we talked about this between each other. It's like that first podcast we came back after 5 weeks off. I was like, I can feel the cobwebs. And I felt like last week was very good. So, yeah, it does. Yeah, I agree with you, man. It feels good.
And, yeah, speaking of 3 weeks ago, if you remember, John kept naming this game right at the start of the show because he's been so excited to talk about it, so excited that he didn't bring it at all last week, but he's excited to bring it now. So we're going to give John his time in the sun because John doesn't complete games very often, and he's done it. So
what's this game called, Nick?
Ball CrossFit.
Ball CrossFit, as Nick likes to say. Nick, I got a platinum fucking trophy. Can you believe it?
I was waiting to talk more about that for the show, but I'm happy for you, even though it puts you a little further ahead of me again. Yeah. This is 57.
57, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So and that's part of the reason I didn't want to bring it last week because I smelled that platinum and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it and then we'll bring it.
Yeah, there you go.
Have a full conversation. But I did finish and complete Ball Pit. Took me about 51 hours, I think, to get, at least that's what my PlayStation says, to get the platinum.
Wow, no time to play games over here.
Would you pause? Would you wait a second?
I don't know. The PlayStation doesn't lie, all right?
No, the PlayStation doesn't lie. However, there was a big caveat with this one that I'll get to here in a second.
Okay.
But yes, Ball Pit came out, was it last month?
I think I know your caveat, but go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Came out last month for $15 from Kenny Sun and Friends, solo developer who, I think he used some people to help him out, QA tests and stuff like that. But it is a roguelike brick breaker-like. I don't really know how else to describe it.
Yeah,
I think people have seen this game, but, you got to rows of enemies coming down your screen in like a very slow way where you have your characters on the bottom who are throwing balls in different combinations at the enemies to get rid of them, and you get to the end of the level, face some mini bosses along the way. This game is one of those just classic roguelike experiences where if you're a fan of of just combining things, getting different combinations, different synergies, figuring out what builds are powerful. How am I going to break the game open this time? If you're a fan of that kind of stuff, it's got it in spades, and it does it fantastically. I had a great time with Ball Pit. I think that it's an incredibly simple game, but one that, like, yeah, you can get 50 hours easily on this and feel completely satisfied with it. Like, I don't need any more Ball Pit right now. You know, if they add some DLC in the future, maybe I'll pop in, but it did what it set out to do very well, which I am, if you listen to me and my opinions, I'm a big fan of that. You start a run with one character. There's 16 different characters. Everybody besides the first character has a very unique gameplay quirk that are genuinely game. They make the gameplay experience genuinely different, right? For instance, one guy shoots his balls from the top of the screen, so that's going to dictate a different way to play, right? Do you want to get a ball that's going to be able to move through every single enemy like the ghost ball can, or do you want something that's a little more high-powered, like an area of effect damage, things like that? But where the game truly shines, is, as I mentioned, is the combinations. There's your standard fires, your standard lightnings, your standard freezes, and things like that. But then they also have different balls like the egg sack ball, which if you hit an enemy, it's going to burst open, and then a couple, as they call them, baby balls will come out and do some damage as well. That does like a little bit less than what your main 4 balls will. You can only have 4 different balls equipped at a time until, yeah. But as you start to go through the level, you're going to start to get synergies. You can combine balls. Sometimes they form other balls, right? So if you combine, let's say, the bleed ball and the dark ball, they create the sacrifice ball, which is going to not only, it's going to do bleed damage and dark damage, but it'll start cursing enemies. And I'm not going to go into every single thing, but there's 50 different combinations, and it's just really, really fun to go through a level and figure out how you're going to play this one. They're quick. They're about 10 minutes a piece, so you're constantly doing the, shooting balls at enemies, and then you're coming back and figuring out what you want to do for the next one. The game also has a separate mode, though. Much like a game like Moonlighter or Dave the Diver, you're not just doing that the entire time. In between runs, you're basically building out a little town that's going to buff your character through your little adventures. It might give you a little bit more strength that's going to damage enemies, but it also might give you an extra passive slot. There's also passive items you can equip alongside your balls that are going to modify the way that you play. And as you go through the game, one of the things I think it does best is like the way that it's the drip feed of progression is very expertly laid out, I think, where you start the game, anybody who's a fan of roguelikes knows that you're not kind of meant to beat it up front, right? That's just not how these work. But as you go through, you get more abilities, you get stronger, your stats are increasing. Eventually you're going to beat levels, and it's just a fun little flow to kind of like continuously push that bar forward. And the town building works the same way, right? Like you kind of start your town and you're not doing much. You maybe have like a little farm that's getting you grain or something you need. But by the end of it, it's, you have this metropolis of spanning things, right? I have my section over here with all my economy stuff. I have my townhouses over here that are where all my ball players live, and they give me buffs over here. And it starts to become a little fun section of it as well. But the unique twist on the farm or the base building aspect is you can also launch your characters throughout your town, and depending on what they hit, much like a pinball machine or a brick breaker, is going to dictate like what resources you get back at the end of that, or maybe you're leveling up different buildings you have. And it's just a very nice little spend 5 minutes here, now I'm back doing 10 minutes of this. Go back here, do a little bit of that, come back over here, and you're constantly moving forward and feeling like, you're definitely making progress on this game. But as I mentioned, or as I shut you down very quickly, one thing that I appreciate this game does, and it's caused me to even contemplate our year-end awards, where it's like I almost want to make an award for like Dad Game of the Year, because what this game, I really appreciate this, and I apologize if this is going to sound shitty to some people who maybe don't have as much time as us dads do, but for somebody who wanted to platinum this game, and for somebody who didn't necessarily like every single character there was. For instance, there's a character called the Tactician who, like, instead of constantly shooting balls out, every single time it's your turn, it just stops.
Right.
And then you plan out what you want to do, and then it stops again. It's like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to do this. There's a character you unlock that literally plays the game for you. Literally plays the game.
I knew
it picks your upgrades. It plays the game. And I know how that sounds on the surface. It's like, why are you playing a game that you're not playing? Why are you buying a game that you're not even going to play? It's just really nice to be able to, like, when I don't want to do this run for this one character to check off the trophy of beat every level with every character. I let it run for a little bit. So towards the back end of my platinum run, you can put an asterisk next to me if you want. I don't care. I'm a dad now.
Nobody cares.
Nick's told me I don't have to worry about what people say about the way I play games. He told me this.
You do not.
It was a nice little addition to allow me to kind of continue to make progress while I'm making dinner for the kids. Continue to make progress while I got to run to the store. I let a run go. I come back. It's like, oh, it's done. So Ball Pit is great. It's only $15. I do recommend it for fans of roguelikes. If you are not a fan of roguelikes, I do not recommend it because at the end of the day, you're kind of just moving a little cursor around, watching balls bounce around. But when you get the Satan ball, right, it's like you feel like a badass. And for that reason, I give this game a 9. I thought Ball Pit was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ball Pit.
Yeah. Another great game year for indie games. I mean, I'm assuming this will be one of the 6 nominees with Blueprints and Hades 2 and Silk Song, and that's some big company. It's
just a really simple concept with like a really creative spin on it that just keeps you hooked for the appropriate amount of time, appropriately priced. I'll definitely be excited to see what this Kenny Son and Friends does.
If only
next.
we were developers and we could just look at something and create a roguelike version of it. You know, like a Tetris or something, you know.
us roguelike fans are junkies for that stuff, man.
Right. And all those games, you know, they're very good games on their own right. But it seems like, when one of those comes out, it's just like, it seems like a Vampire Survivors, like a Ball Pit. They just take over and everyone's just talking about them, and they sell extremely well.
They're definitely like flavor of the month kind of games, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they don't last for a long time typically, but yeah, man, they're a ton of fun, and I liked it. It was cool. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you, man. Yeah. Good for you. I like it. Okay. All right. I don't have any questions. That's
I mean, it's again very straightforward. Watch 5 seconds of gameplay and you'll understand.
Right.
But also watch 5 seconds of gameplay of the start of a run with a little ball going boop, 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 boop. And then look at a run at the end of it where it looks like complete chaos and you can't dictate. You can't tell what's going on. And that's what it's about.
Right. And it's $15. Like you can take the risk on that kind of price. So.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Let's move on to our next topic, the hot news of the day, like coming in very hot. Valve, the company responsible for Steam, the PC online marketplace, the makers of games like Half-Life and Portal and Left 4 Dead. But let's not do that anymore. Those great games. Let's not make any more entries in those. They're doing more hardware like the Steam Deck. And revealed today is the Steam Machine. And we're going to focus on that. That's the big one. But they also announced the VR headset, the Steam Frame, and the new Steam controller. But, we're console players here, so I want to focus on the Steam Machine, which will be like the Steam Deck. It'll run Steam OS. You can bring over your Steam library. Valve will rate games like they do for the Steam Deck to say, this is Steam Machine ready, this video game. And according to them, is 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck is right now. And if you're interested in the specs, if you're interested in the nitty-gritty, go ahead. I'm not going to bore people with that here. But they're saying it'll come next year. Their plan is for it to be your PC or your console that sits on your TV. Look it up. It's a cute little cube. Little cube guy. No handle on it.
Yeah.
Where's the handle, guys? Come on.
I don't know.
You need a handle on your Cube console. But what is this going to mean for the industry at large? I think that is kind of the more interesting thing to take. As we talk about, like we talked about the next gen Xbox being a similar machine, probably to this, right? A dedicated box that is going to run multiple OSs, and you can get games from multiple platforms, and this is no different. I'm assuming this thing will be priced pretty expensively, but do you think that this will drive anything? Will this thing make an impact?
Yes.
Ooh.
I think so.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've said in the past too that if there's anybody that can enter this ecosystem and have success off the bat, it's them. You know, there's so many things that they have working for them that I do think this will make some
People's
noise.
Steam libraries is the
People's
big one.
Steam libraries is the biggest one. I mean, you know, if you can promise a PC player, you know, to transfer their entire library that they've been building for years and years and years, you can transfer that to their couch. I think there's going to be a decent amount of them that want that experience,
Right.
despite if there's, you know, PC Master Race or not. Like, it's just like, oh, cool, I don't have to sacrifice anymore. At least
Right,
from
or if I want to get out of the PC space because I don't want to spend money on graphics cards and a new PC all the time, maybe I just buy this and then because all my games will come over.
Yeah. So I mean that is absolutely huge. I mean, in fact, it's so huge that, you know, I'll say this off. This is what I was alluding to. Like, depending on the cost and things like that. I mean, my son, you know, wants to. He obviously watches influencers and YouTube people, and they play a lot of PC games, like things like Peak and things like, you know, even Descenders was a PC game for a long, long time, or Descenders with mods that he can't do. And so it's like the idea that you can take that kind of PC experience and take the things that, you know, because we're console boys first and foremost, but there is things that PC has that I would like. It does exist.
A lot of 4X games.
Yeah, I mean that type of stuff, or even something as
Early
simple as
access.
like the Steam like review system that Steam uses, right? Like the overwhelmingly positive stuff and all that. It's like
Right.
it's just nice how they operate. So I think it'll make noise. And then but I do think the other big thing that we haven't talked about, that I haven't seen any articles about, obviously very fresh news, but like, if Valve wants to play the exclusives game, good luck competing with that. Like, if they do, there have been rumors about Half-Life 3 forever, and it's a joke at this point.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because this is a good point. Is like you can't launch this without some kind of software, right?
Right, and the little article I'm reading now, it's like, you know, Deadlock has been their thing that they've been trying to, like, you know, get going, and, you know, it's a MOBA.
I hate them.
I know, but
Hate
like,
that this is what they focus on.
if there was a world that those Half-Life 3 rumors are legit, I mean, spring of next year, like I feel like that would line up. And if you had Half-Life 3 ready to go, like, you're getting every old PC gamer out there. But I don't know.
Yeah,
but if you lock it to that or not.
Right. That was my follow-up question is, do you think they would lock any software to this thing? Kind of similar to like Half-Life Alyx,
Right.
Which they locked behind, you know, their VR headset.
They wouldn't lock anything exclusively to that wouldn't be on Steam itself. But I think there would, like, I'm again a test. If they put Portal 3 and it's exclusive to Steam as an ecosystem, that would be a hard. And I would absolutely, as personally, like, I would go for this. I don't want to buy a PC with the graphics card. I don't want to do that. So it'd be a hard thing for me. You would see me squirming in this seat every single week if, like, it was out and I was like, I know. But so it'll depend on cost and stuff like that for me. But I do think they have a lot of ammo in their arsenal, a lot of shots to fire to make this thing more so than they did when they last tried.
Yeah. Well, and I think that is key. I think that you're making a good point. I think it's going to be a hard sell, like the Steam Deck too. I don't like the Steam Deck is a very people love it who have it, but I don't think it's like running away. I'm sure Switch 2 has already outsold it. Yeah, if they could lock some software to this, which again I don't think they'll do. That's the part that I think sucks about buying into PlayStation VR 2 or any of these side devices is they just can't. They won't commit like they need to get the install base that these things need. And again, it is Valve. You know, they don't care. Like they want you in Steam more than anything.
Yeah.
Buying games so they get their cut and stuff like that. So I think this is just going to be a complementary device. But yeah, I think it'll live like the Steam Deck. I bet it'll be a device that people who have it love it, and it's great for their games. But I think it won't even make a dent as far as like discussions. There won't be an article like the PlayStation 5 sold this, and Nintendo Switch 2 sold this, and the Steam machine sold this. Like, no, I don't think it's going to have that type of impact, especially when I think like what the price will be, and it's going to probably be, you know, comparable to console prices now. So probably 600 and up, I would say.
Yeah. No, I think you make a lot of good points, and that probably is the best way to think about it as a complementary thing. Just to be clear, I don't think that there will be months that something beats the PS5 somehow. Right. Anything like that. But
a question for you now, like, okay, Christmas next year, is the Switch 2 under the tree or is the Steam machine under the tree?
Depends on the games that are available for it. I mean, like, at that point, like, PlayStation is my place to play, and this sounds stupid, but like trophies are a big reason of that. Like, I would play a lot of games on Switch.
So stupid.
It is so stupid, but it's how my brain works, and I can't change my brain. So when it comes down to anything outside of that, that's the reason I got rid of my Xbox. Is like there is no reason to play this. There's no reason for me to play a game on this that I could play on PlayStation. So I don't know, man. I mean, if they come out hard with some sort of exclusive content, maybe it's this. But also, if Galaxy 3's there, then it's probably that. So I don't know. Also, I got a question. What's up with the like thumb touchpads? Like, I know it was on their last one too. Is that for like 4X games? What is that really for?
Yeah, it's like to give you like the
mouse, a mouse feel.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because unlike you expect on a console every game to be controller compatible, not so much on.
I just feel like mouse is such a particular feeling for users, right? Where it's like how to move it and how to click. Where I feel like using this would be like trying to use like one of those. You ever use one of those little nubs on laptops to try and move the mouse around? Yeah. It's like I can do this, but like I hate how this feels. So. Yeah, the nipple as we call them.
No, I mean, yeah. If I for whatever reason I was like, I'm gonna do this thing because I want to play more games or whatever, I would just have a DualSense and then a wireless keyboard and mouse.
Holy shit! Did you see the back of this controller? So you got your left bumper, right bumper, back bumper, and then you got L4 and L5 on the back. There's like 5 different trigger buttons.
Have you ever seen a Steam controller in person?
I don't think so.
They're pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Again, they're no DualSense in my opinion, but
no.
Again, they need different functionality. But yeah, pretty wild stuff. And again, we'll probably talk about it next year as they start locking down.
I'll say this: price. They timed it beautifully. Like right as Xbox is like, oh, we're done. Like it's like, okay, cool, here we come. So I mean, it's to try and capture maybe any people who are thinking of migrating from Xbox to PlayStation or wherever. It's like, oh, I want that one. And maybe that's a
And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of this stuff as far as a lot of devices that are comparable to this coming out. Obviously, Xbox branded ones, and then other all the big Lenovo and Asus will all have their little boxes. But we'll see. Yeah. All right.
It's interesting.
When you got one backed by Valve, you got to talk about it. That's a big deal.
I mean, it is interesting too that they're coming out with a new VR headset. It's like, I don't know. It's just, where do we stand with VR? I feel like the question just moves every single day. I'm not asking you right now, but it's just like, are we in or not? Seems like we're in, but it doesn't seem like we're in at the same time.
No, we're not.
Yeah. So
they need big games to come to it, other than Half-Life Alyx.
Mm-hmm.
You need a really good game regularly, not once every couple of years. So.
Right.
All right.
Cool.
If that's it, we can move on to the next topic.
Move away, bud.
All right. So on last episode, we whittled down the Golden Joystick's 12 Game of the Year nominees to 6. But as you heard on the last show, a game was getting reviewed through the roof, and that is multiplayer extraction shooter Arc Raiders. As the recording of last episode was sitting at a wild 94.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy. It's now come back to earth, a respectable 89.
Holy shit, Eurogamer.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
No.
But it's worth revisiting this conversation. Is Arc Raiders good enough to enter the pantheon of the 6 Game of the Year nominees this year? And it's not unheard of. Back in 2016, a multiplayer shooter by the name of Overwatch came out and won Game of the Year that year. So it's not unheard of for a multiplayer-only shooter to not only be nominated, but to win the big prize. And I know, John, we are not Arc Raiders players.
No.
We can't speak to the game itself. But how do you feel its chances of showing up now in the top 6?
Slim
Yeah.
chances. I would say slim to none.
It releasing as late as it did does not help.
Yeah.
It is coming in pretty hot to whenever, I don't know when Keeley finalizes
Yeah.
submissions and all that, but I got to imagine it's pretty soon with this thing less than a month away. That it's hard to say if Arc Raiders can break through.
That would be its one chance. Is does the Game Awards, which is typically a understandably and necessary money hungry thing because they need it, do they try and capitalize a little bit on the zeitgeist and like maybe we can get all these these 200,000 people that are watching Arc Raiders on Twitch right now, like if we nominate for Game of the Year, maybe that's enough to bring them over. So I mean
I don't think that's how that works, but
I mean I don't either.
will
but
there
like,
be
that'd
Arc Raiders content in the Game Awards, like a trailer for the next season?
Yeah, you'll
and
get
stuff
all
like that for sure. Or will they buy ad space? Probably in the Game Awards.
Yeah,
Yes.
they definitely will do that. But no, I don't think the quality of the game really almost matters at this point. It's just more how it's received, like how it's been received review-wise. And yeah, again, if they want to capitalize on that to bring it forward, but on a weaker year, I think absolutely this game would have a chance. I don't know what of the 6 we would kick off. Like it'd probably be
Death
Stranding, but I don't think so.
What was our 6th game? What did we put in last?
Split Fiction?
No.
Split Fiction, Expedition 33, Hollow Knight, Death Stranding,
Hades 2.
Hades 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So, or they do the thing where it's like, okay, we're going to eliminate either Hades 2 or Silksong because we only want one smaller indie game there.
Well, you're removing probably Hades 2 at
You're
that
probably
point.
removing Hades 2. It's already had its time in the sun. But no, I don't think so. That's why I say slim. Like, it could, but I would imagine.
Yeah.
That's a
I
push.
think it'll be nominated, but yeah, I don't think it'll slip into this Game of the Year.
No, I don't think so
Category.
either. I mean, whatever the I don't know if there's a live service category now or whatever that would be.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely have those.
It'll compete.
We usually just don't focus on them.
No.
Because we had a discussion off the air about like should multiplayer games get their own category for Game of the Year. Yeah, but my response to that is there's just not enough contenders to be like, oh, this is the multiplayer Game of the Year. It'd be like this and Battlefield, Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, we already have the ongoing game award, right?
Right,
So
right.
Fortnite gets thrown into there. Apex Legends will get thrown into there. Battlefield 6 next year is getting thrown into there. So yeah, what multiplayer exclusive games are coming out next year? I don't know. You'd almost have to have this understanding that like if a game like we have to include small games too with
Right.
it, and it's almost like you have to go to every single reviewer and be like, now remember, we're reviewing these as in parity. They're not just because this one's way bigger and more popular. It doesn't mean it's better. And so I think it gets too messy. But yeah, if it's stuck at that 94, if it was like still sitting there, it'd be a little bit harder for me to turn this one down. But I think coming down to earth a little bit does.
I don't know. There's still a chance. Like it could kick out like a Death Stranding. It's not impossible. It's just how much is this game resonating in time enough for
I just want
all the reviewers and all the outlets to go, oh fuck, we're changing, whatever their submission process is. We're gonna put Arc Raiders in there now.
I want to be behind, or like a fly on the wall in Keeley's office when he's like typing the email that says like, yes, we'll accept Arc Raiders as a Game of the Year, and then Kojima's behind him like the Undertaker. And he's like, and what are you kicking off, Jeff?
Yeah, exactly.
Are we still friends, Jeff?
Am I still coming to the Game Awards, Jeff? Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a chance for sure, but I would feel better if it wasn't coming so hotly behind. Like I said, I don't know the timeline for Keeley, but I can imagine the cutoff has got to be like October, right?
Yeah, it'd be
when you have so little time to prep for this thing. As far as like the orchestra and all the reveals, and I can't even imagine keeping that all organized. But
All right. Blacker,
actually, he's got to say this is it. This is the games that can be in this thing.
the orchestra's a good point too. You guys got to practice that shit.
Yeah.
All right. So black or white answer, yes or no?
Boy.
I'm going no.
Okay. I'm going with spicy. I'm going to say, yeah, it does make it.
Okay, and what of our last week's
Gets rid of Death Stranding.
gets rid of Death Stranding? Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's why I like Nick. I like you, Nick. You keep it fun, even if it's like you gotta take a risk.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. Very soon.
Yeah.
I imagine those.
Congratulations, Embark Studios, because that's the way you hit the scene.
I mean, that's how you have to. I don't think Battlefield showed it, Marvel Rivals showed it. You cannot launch these games and you can't fuck around. Like,
Yeah.
you have to hit out of the gate just like these games have.
You hear that, Bungie? Do you hear that?
Yeah,
You hear that?
exactly. Marathon is very lucky to have not come out because they would have
a very scared project to be working on right now.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. If you're working on Marathon, you have this template with Arc Raiders, and what are they doing right that we can do by release date, right? Like,
I don't know what. Yeah.
and there's a lot of its feedback they've already gotten, right? Like the proximity voice chat, because I know that's been a big part of why people are liking this so far, is all that kind of like incidental stuff that happens.
You think that stuff would just be, it's a given now.
Right.
It's people like certain things. Just throw
right,
it in there.
Right. And again, I haven't played Arc Raiders, so I don't know, but I'm sure that a lot of, I've heard it with other games, but I'm sure Bungie was like, no one's working on Marathon. We're all playing Arc Raiders, and we're all going to learn what it's doing well.
Yeah.
Especially when it reviews this well and is this successful. You need to like break that down and implement as much as you can in your own extraction shooter. So
I do want to go back and call out this Eurogamer review though, and I just want to get it on file that I think this type of opinion is fucking stupid, despite what I feel about AI, and I kind of agree with him. He's giving it a 2 out of 5. And he's doing that review that, remember when I freaked out about Silksong and there was that one guy who was like, this game's great. I love everything about it. It's just too hard. 6 out of 10. And you're like, what? Like, so the guy's just like, rich PvE combat and an unusually friendly community make Arc Raiders a more approachable extraction shooter than most. But its continued use of AI voice generation is a black mark against this reputation. And then you go to the main review and it's like the same shit. It's like, smartly designed extraction shooter is great, but one inexcusable decision. It's like, I feel that's so disingenuous if you're like, then don't give it a score. Like, then just be like, this is what I think about it.
Right.
It was like that Hogwarts Legacy review too that gave it a 1 out of 10 just because this person didn't like J.K. Rowling. It's like, go away.
Right.
Like, we're evaluating something on its and
right. It should just be a special footnote. Be like, hey, this game's using AI.
Right. If you are adamantly against this kind of
right.
stuff,
We're not fans of it, but we're going to point this out in a section in the review. But yeah, again, if it led to a lower mark, like that's a little
it's
little
just
much.
silly. I just don't like that. Like, I get it, but I don't think that should
All right.
be. It's a 40 out of 100. Just
Well,
'cause
I don't know when Keely's going to announce the nominees, but it's going to be soon. So
Yeah.
we'll
all got
have our
voting.
answers very, very soon. All right, we can move on to our final topic, which is a listener email. Again, you can be read on this show, betweenthejoysticks@gmail.com, right in there, and you can be read on this show just like pal of the show, Freddie B., who before going into his email, we asked him to give us some of his screenshots of Ghost of Yote, and he did. Obviously on a podcast, can't share those, but they're awesome.
Do you feel this, Freddie? This is me giving you a virtual hug over the podcast. I'm hugging my computer.
I think they
But
were
it's
so
you.
great that I might even raise the score from a 7 to an 8. These screenshots are so
Whoa.
good.
A little backtracking. Huh?
No, I'm not going to do that, but they're phenomenal, and they do highlight again one of the strengths of the game, and that's obviously the vistas and stuff like that. So I'm going to read the email, and then we're going to break it down and go through what Freddie has to say. So to Freddie's email, hey guys, thanks for reading my Ghost of Yote letter last week. Curious to hear the updates from John. Maybe he'll start to join our side Nick, as the game progresses. A few weeks ago, I was listening to Game Scoop, an inferior video game podcast, and they jokingly but not jokingly said that because big companies won't make indie games or put real effort on them, it's on the big shot indie devs to take up the torch to support other devs who are struggling. The reason for this topic was the report that now that the average Steam game makes less than $50K. They used Concerned Ape, who was the developer of Stardew Valley, as an example, stating If he hired people, his next game could come out faster, or he could use his newfound wealth to support other developers and spread the wealth around. I found the opinion pretty poor, to be honest. I don't understand how they're putting the onus on successful indie devs to somehow fund and support others, but not calling out big developers for their lack of support in the scene more. Instead, hand-waving it away by saying they never will, so why bother? It's a very similar talking to point to what happened with Silksong. Anyways, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again for the great show, Freddie B. So, do you want to start with John? And you got anything? Are you on our side in Ghost of Yotei?
Oh yeah, sure. Ghost of Yotei thoughts. I mean, I feel like I've been ball pitting so hard lately that I haven't dove back in enough. I did get back in like an hour after I got that platinum last night. I was like, all right, let me just refamiliarize myself everything, just to make sure that when I hit it tonight, hopefully I can just go ground running. But no, I still really like it so far. I mean, I think like I'm finally going to take out the Oni tonight. I think. And I still think that the story it's telling is yes, generic, but done really well. And I haven't ventured off into another area, so the grind and monotonousness of an open world that I think both you and Nick are talking about with this one hasn't quite settled in with me yet. But I mean, I definitely can see it happening. I'm not going to deny that, but as of now, still feeling pretty good.
Okay, all right. And are you familiar with GameScoop? Have you ever listened to them?
I am not. No.
That is the premier IGN podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Take that, Game Scoop. You might have many listeners, but you'll never get our Freddie B.
I think the podcast is like 20 years old. It's been around for a while. IGN used to have a lot of their platform-specific podcasts, and this was kind of the overall.
Because I know that was Beyond, right? That was their
Podcast
one.
Beyond was the PlayStation one. They had a Red Ring podcast for Xbox, and they had a Nintendo voice chat for Nintendo. They all made, outside of Podcast Beyond, they all made fun of their platforms because, believe it or not, IGN didn't really believe in podcasts. So they all made joking things, like Nintendo voice chat was making fun of the lack of voice chat on Nintendo platforms. The Red Ring one, obviously Xbox 360 era, Red Ring of Death, and yeah, they weren't the only ones that didn't think podcasts were worth making, but wrong.
Yeah, I say 744 episodes later, as of 2023.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah. So that's Damon Hatfield, Ryan McCaffrey.
Yeah, I know them.
That's kind of their show.
I only want their life.
Yeah, to get paid.
Yeah,
to do it. But okay, what about what they're talking about? Again, reiterating that because your Electronic Arts, your Ubisoft, your Capcom isn't taking risk on indie developers, which that probably can be explored a little more. I mean, we do know like Konami's publishing like Darwin's Paradox, and Capcom. What was that indie game that they had the demo for?
Kunitsugami?
Yeah, Kunitsugami, and we had Prince of Persia Lost Crown from Ubisoft, like smaller indie-esque titles.
EA Originals' whole thing was for them to try and make these smaller experiences.
Right. But obviously those games are few and far between. But do you think what they said on GameScoop, and again, we're taking Freddie's word for it, I did not hear them say this, that do you think that there is an onus on successful indie developers to work with, maybe possibly fund and bring up other indie developers?
No, I don't. No, I don't. And honestly, the fact that you framing this, that GameScoop is IGN's podcast, kind of makes me like a little sad in a way, because it's like, wait, they're the ones saying this? Like, yeah, you should, I don't know, have a little bit more thought put into that, because like, first off, I don't like
there
it.
Probably was. I mean, we're obviously
sure
getting his little.
Yeah. First off, I don't like entitled people. I just don't. It's one of my least favorite types of things out there. So for somebody to go on and just be like, well, we could get your next game quicker if you just hired people. It's like, who are you to tell Concerned Ape how to do something, right? Like, right. I get it. I get, Stardew Valley is one of the most beloved games of all time. We all want our games quicker and better. Nick started this podcast crying because, we don't have Grand Theft Auto yet. I get it.
Crying?
Yeah, you're crying
okay.
on the inside. But I hate that idea that like, well, you guys kind of owe us as the players, you know, like we buy all your games, so you got to do it for us. It's like, no, man, like maybe his method to his madness and the way that he produces what he produces is by doing this, by doing his process, doing it the way he wants to. And, you know, I could get a long-winded diatribe here about capitalism, but I won't because I don't really want to. But that is what the system we've all put into place and what we all subscribe to, and that's how it is. And sure, you could lift up your peers and things like that, but how do you even identify which games you're going to lift up?
Right.
How do you even, you know, decide that like, okay, well, I have $20 million from Stardew Valley. That's just like my net profit. I'm going to keep $5 million for myself. I'm going to then prop up this other team for really, I guess, no monetary gain. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. And it just starts to get a little like, I don't know, man. I don't think you can rely on an individual to somebody else to be like, oh, I need help. Come in, Concerned Ape. Come in, Toby Fox. Like, I need your help.
Right. Or you're the ball pit guy. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's like, I mean, we live in a world where the best painters, right? There's millions of people trying to create art, like fucking paintings, right? And how many of those have we heard of? How many of those people are making money doing it? It's kind of not the philosophy when you get into a creative field. It sucks for a lot of people. It sucks for the people who spend 4 or 5 years developing a project they're passionate about and they release on Steam and they're hoping it does well and it doesn't. Like, that's got to be such a crushing feeling that I can't imagine. But like, what if also that game just kind of stinks? Not to be blunt, but we live in an industry, we talk about it all the time, where a 7 is not good enough. A 7 just gives you maybe a week of news cycles and maybe you'll sell 10,000 copies, but like, if you're not an established thing, that's not good enough, right? I'm talking about Ball Pit because it was. Like, we're talking about Silksong, which was, before Hollow Knight was released, was just 3 dudes who formed a thing that they had a belief in and they released it and it was good enough and it gave them an immense amount of success. But doing that doesn't require them to then be like, okay, well, we got to pay it forward. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to help, and pal of the show, Nick, I almost said his last name and you would have yelled at me. You know, he brought this to my attention when he bought Ball Pit. It's like, there is a Steam sale where you can buy Ball Pit for $15, or you can buy Ball Pit with Vampire Survivors for $14. And like, how does that make sense? It kind of doesn't, but I think, and this is conjecture as everything we say on the show is, I think that's a developer trying to lift somebody else up, whether it's the Vampire Survivor guy who's like, look, I'll let you bundle my game on with yours because I'm already an established quantity. I think your game's dope. We can split some profits maybe, or whatever, or even you just take it all. And I think that that's a better example of maybe a little bit of camaraderie, not necessarily like, oh, I'm Stardew Valley, I have all this money here, just take it and go make sure you're successful too. Seems a little weird to me.
Right. And yeah, I don't think you should be mad when they don't do it. I mean, would you like them to? Sure. He's worth, they say, anywhere from 34 to 45 million. Concerned Ape. Mm-hmm. You know, it'd be great. You know, and then I obviously look at like Notch, you know, the maker of Minecraft. Yeah, he's worth 1.4 billion. It would be great if he could just kind of.
There is a different.
And the problem is, I think these people are. It's just not public. Like, you know, I'm sure Notch is an angel investor in kind of like other projects and other games that we just don't hear about. And I'm sure people reach out to Concerned Ape. I'm sure there are communities within these developers, you know, Slack channels, Discord channels where they're all in and they're like, hey, I'm having trouble programming this. Does anyone know? And I think there's a lot of that kind of collaboration. We just don't see it, you know, and then sometimes we do see it. Like, we talk about Video Game Donkey, who you know is very successful and used his YouTube channel and the money he got there to start his own video game publisher, Big Mode, and help publish Animal Well. You know, so it's being done. I just don't think but to tell people how to use their money or how to spend their time, especially Concerned Ape, which if you've ever read Jason Schreier's book, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, like that guy's story is incredible. Yeah,
like, he's a good yeah.
That guy is a great story all around. Like he was a a guy who put his heart and soul into a video game, not knowing it would be successful, did the music, did the art, did every aspect of the game, while his family and his girlfriend at the time just had to stay there and just be fingers crossed, like this was all worth it to spend years of your life working on a game, and he did it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little
and
a little fucked up to tell people how to do their money. Just like if I all of a sudden came up with, I don't know, I won the lotto and I'm 45 million. Is John gonna have any right to tell me how I use my money?
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. Yeah. Absolutely. Shit, I had a point, and then you distracted me with how I'm going to spend your money because I want to spend your money now. Yeah, I don't. Or yeah, I mean, going back to like, and then big publishers like kind of stepping in. I mean, like that's not what they do. So you're right. They're not going to make them. And if they do, it's not really an indie game at that point. And so there's just, I don't know, man.
And they got to have, there's no way they don't have talks internally about like, how do we publish a Silk Song?
Mm-hmm.
How do we publish the next big game? And they have those divisions, like we said, they are doing it. Like it's just not zero sum. Big publishers aren't looking at indie games at all, but I'm sure they are, and they want to. And if the project's right, they do, right? Like I said, with Konami and Darwin's Paradox and all the other developers that are doing this, it's like I know like IO Interactive publishes indie games and they make Hitman, so it's happening. It's just
and to blame indie developers not doing enough is just, I think you're diagnosing it with the wrong symptom. The symptom is there's too many games. Like that's
right.
The symptom that needs to be fixed. And part of what makes capitalism work is, a wise man once said, the cream rises to the top. And if you make a good game, it's going to get noticed and it's going to sell. Right. And that's not saying that every game that hasn't found success is bad. It's just, capitalism.
Right.
So,
right. Your game has to get found, and then your game has to be really good, and it's not easy to do both, so.
Yeah. But no, like, I mean, if I would be, it'd be really good and it would be cool, like these positive stories. Like if all of a sudden Team Cherry's like, look, we have so much fucking money that we want to start publishing games.
Right.
Cool, great, go ahead, do it. But you don't have there's no onus on you to do it.
No.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's a gamble. I mean, to spend any money on a game and invest in it, game could suck.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the fucking time.
Yeah, and then
not just indie games, big games.
And you attach yourself to a game, and you're like, we're going to publish you, and then that game comes out, and it sucks. And then you're like, well, wait, Team Cherry did this one. And you're like, well, now I don't trust them. It's like, there's just a lot of things to it.
Right. So we're in agreement, Freddie. It's
now stop fucking listening to Game Scoop, Freddie. We're back.
No, we're not starting any beefs. All right, we're not starting any beefs.
Well, I don't know. You guys are on the opposite side of me. I'm over here by myself, and you guys think Ghost of Yote's a 7. So,
but Freddie, if you could tell us what episode this was, I kind of want to generally hear their discussion to get a little more context onto what they were saying. But if you could give us the episode, that would be great. But yeah, I don't think anyone wants. And I know things are crazy right now. Obviously people don't want billionaires to exist anymore, and we're not going to get into that. But telling people what to do with their money is just, especially at this level, like indie game success is, you're tens of $1 million rich, but that money comes and goes just as fast. So I wouldn't tell any developer to take a risk, but. Great email.
Yeah. Thanks, Freddie, as always.
All right.
And great pictures.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. That's it. That is the show.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some teases. What do you got? We still got to do top 5 open worlds.
Yes. Yeah. So
the news kind of destroyed that idea.
People. Yeah. we push like we'll just call them quote unquote fluff topics when there's actual topics, right? So we're pushing the fluffy open world thing. Let me sink my teeth into Yote a little bit more anyway. But teases.
No, is it a potential to be your top 5 open world game?
I don't know. I'm not crossing it out.
All right.
It's beautiful as shit.
Okay.
And I love Japan and mountains. So, but yeah, that's what I'll be playing.
Yeah.
No.
I think it'll be again. I think we're gonna get some more news about Achilles and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be kind of just coasting until
Maybe there'll be a state of play announced and shown.
we
don't know.
State of play Europe.
Yeah.
State of play Australia.
It's just farming simulator for an hour.
Oof. Is that true, people? If you're listening and you took offense to that comment, between the joysticks at gmail.com.
I've heard they're very popular in Europe. There's a famous picture of Angela Merkel, like president of Germany or chancellor or whatever they are, like at at Gamescom, playing Farm Simulator with a big old smile on her face.
Yeah, but I'm assuming for you, you're just gonna continue on Ghosts.
Yeah, still playing Ghosts. I made the joke to Nick that like, I cleared off an indie game so I can buy another one to distract myself with, but I'm trying. So no Absalom yet. But yeah, just that, and just that. I'm trying to stay focused, Nick. Staying focused.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You should stay focused. The final episodes for Dispatch are out, so I will have by next episode finished in its entirety, and we'll definitely review it and talk about it. I don't know how much time I'll spend on it. As long as it keeps this up, it'll be great. So
yeah. That game. I know I've wrote off narrative games, but it looks really good.
Yeah, no, it is continually. I mean, reviews are slowly dripping out, but it is in the high 80s. So I really hope. I don't know how it ends, but I hope they can do. If this team can do a sequel or continue to work on similar projects. They did a good job on this one so far.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the show. Thank you for listening. We love you out there. Take care of yourself. Play tons of video games. And then write in about said video games. We love to hear from you.
Hey, guys. Nick wore opposite shoes yesterday at work.
Wow.
I had to. Well, we can give more context later if the show still exists. Oh, is it gone? Is it done?
No, yeah.
Oh, you're just making a timestamp.
No, I'm just canceling the show now. The show's over, guys.
It was funny, Nick.
All right. For for context, since you had to bring this up right at the end, like an asshole. I don't know. Sometimes you get up early in the morning, you're groggy, it's dark. Sometimes you put on two different shoes accidentally. And in my defense, they are the exact same shoe, just different color.
Yes, they are.
But John, who is an outfit tracker, a person that is always watching what you wear. So if you're around him, be sure to not wear the same piece of clothing 2 days in a row, or John's gonna say something. Big John's watching over you. It sucks because I think I went a couple hours, nobody said anything, and then within 1 second of John seeing me, he points it out.
The
and
best part was you didn't know.
That
was the best part. You're like, shit.
My brain's all over the place. All right,
know.
Sometimes you're just a mess. But,
I get it, man. I love you, and it was funny.
but in situations like that, am I glad that I work with a great group of guys like John who can just rib me about it, and nobody really professional saw me looking like a clown with two different shoes on.
There you go.
So
yeah, at least you didn't have like a in-person meeting with like
some higher up that's like
shit.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Did you know she have two shoes? No.
You have to lean into it. Yeah.
I intentionally did this.
I always do this.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a psycho on your team.
Yeah. But so yes, it was very funny. I'm glad John had a good laugh about it.
I did.
Sometimes life is silly.
Gotta keep it silly.
Yeah. All right. So again, that's it for the show. Unless John has anything else he'd like to reveal at the very end. Are you good? Can we end the show?
I probably do, but I'm not. No. Yeah,
okay.
We're good.
Good. All right. Thank you for listening. We love you out there. And of course, we will be back next week with Up to 6 Things. Bye.
Later.